Hey everyone, my name is Penny Zanker, and it's time to reset. This podcast goes beyond just navigating change. It's about new ways of thinking about how you can approach challenges, how you can shift your mindset when needed, create some space and grace for yourself so that you can rethink, recharge, and reprioritize when and where needed. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Thank you for hitting play and sharing this next episode with me. It's time to reset. Hello, and welcome to Take Back Time. My name is Penny Zanker, and I'm your host. And today we're going to talk about how to automate your busy work. I think this is a really important topic for a lot of people who are very busy and spending too much time on the unimportant things, and they never get to the important things. So I'm so excited to have our special guest today, Aytekin.
Yes.
Is that right? Awesome.
Thank you for having me on this show.
Just to give a short introduction, he's the founder and CEO of JotForm, a leading online form and productivity software that's used by 18 million businesses. So there's got to be something good about this tool. And he's a productivity and automation expert. And just coming up in the next month, he is going to be publishing his new book, Automate Your Busywork. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So Aytekin, welcome to our show here.
Thank you, Penny, for having me. Would you like me to start by talking about the book?
1 second before we get into the book, why don't we talk about why is this topic important to you? Like, did you have some sort of meltdown and this epiphany came, or what was the big thing that happened?
So I started JotForm 17 years ago, 2006. In the first days, we were actually doing pretty well in the beginning. But a couple of years in, we were a small company and we were doing things, but I was kind of getting stuck. Like I was stuck in this busy work, constant busy work. Like I was spending all my day emailing customers and vendors and doing HR, accounting, ordering snacks for the office. Like I was doing everything and it was just taking all my time. And I was
Can I stop you there for a second?
Yeah.
I just want to, out of all the people who are listening, they're shaking their heads. They're going, especially the entrepreneurs that wear so many different hats and are doing that. So I can relate, and I'm sure many people can relate to that circumstance. So go ahead, carry on.
I was like drowning in this busy work. And at the same time, I was actually helping my customers automate their businesses because my product is an online forms product. And many business operations, many business tasks actually start with the forms. I was helping them with many things like people fill out the forms and then we help them like automate their emails, generate documents, create data, integrate with other services. Like we were doing all these automations. But in my own business, I was stuck in this treadmill of busy work. So one day, a friend of mine sent me an email and said, hey, did you see that Google actually came up with a competitive product? Like they came up with Google Forms. Like, how are you doing? Like, are you anxious or anything? I really became anxious at that time.
Thanks to him, right? Well, thanks for that.
Because I'm already spending all my time with busy work. How can I compete with Google? So I started thinking about like, how can I change things? Yeah.
I'm always looking for people to relate it, right? Is that if we don't make space and time for innovation and making sure we're aware of what's changing on the marketplace, what kind of competitors are coming in, it doesn't matter how big your business is, that's going to be the death of your business.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. Like I needed to change things. Like I need to grow my business. I needed to grow my product, make my product better. How can I do that? And the answer was automation. And so I decided that I can actually apply my own medicine to myself. Like I'm helping all these people with automating their businesses. Why don't I automate my own business? Mm-hmm. And that's what I started doing. I started first with my emails. And like I was spending a whole day just replying to emails. I was able to reduce that to like 1 to 2 hours. And then I started automating many other things like our HR, accounting, how we do product development, how we do things like that. But the main goal was to be able to actually spend more of my time with creative things, like creating a better product, like having a better strategy so Google doesn't beat us. Mm-hmm. And it worked. Today, we are a company with 500 employees, like 20 million users, and like 7 offices in 7 different cities. So Google didn't beat us, and this worked. But while I was working on this automation, I actually developed this framework that I call the automation flywheels. And I wanted to actually share the automation flywheel with the world. And I have a blog, but this is not something I can just put it on a blog. So I decided, okay, I'm going to write a book. And it took me more than a year, but I think it turned out really well. And in this book, I'm able to share not just the automation flywheel, not just a theory, but also practical examples, case studies, tools that people can use and how they can find all these tools. Because we are just right in this middle of this 3 revolutions. One of them is like software is eating the world. This is something Mark Andreessen said, like software is eating the world. Everything is turning into software. The best example to this, like in the past days, you would go to a travel agent, you would tell them, hey, I want to go to a workplace. But today you don't do that. You just go and do your own research. Like you have to do like 100 different things to be able to do a vacation. And everything has become software. So the second change is the no-code revolution, which is like JotForm is one example to no-code products. The no-code products allow you to actually create your own, like you don't have to be a programmer, you don't have to be a developer, you can create your own products. So there are examples like JotForm, Airtable, Zapier, many tools like that. And the third one is the AI revolution. And today is like everything is about AI. AI is like making everything much more easier. But here's the thing, all these revolutions are going on, but people actually don't know where to start, like how they can automate their work. And I wanted to provide step-by-step guide and examples so that people can find step-by-step guide on how to accomplish all these things, how to start automating their busy work.
Right. Well, the challenge, I think, for many people, and I can't wait to hear about this automation flywheel. I love how you talked about those different revolutions. And we're already in this AI revolution, and some people haven't caught up to the no code where they can just sort of getting the hang of dragging and dropping and integrating if they're even there. So that is another dimension. And I love the fact that what you're offering is a way of thinking. Yes, there are tools that can be used, but your book and what you're going to share with us is around a way of thinking so that we can use any kind of tool, but the tool garbage in, garbage out. So you have to know how to think about things before you can actually solve those problems. So can you give us a little insight into this automation flywheel?
Sure. The first step is something I called divide and conquer. And in the divide stage, what you're actually doing is you are actually exploring how you are spending your time on currently. So I describe a method that can be really useful, even if you are not going to use the automation flywheel framework. That's a really useful technique. And that's something I call the time audit. So every top of the hour, you actually make a note of how you spend your time. And you do this for a week. And at the end of the week, you total up the time you spent. And this actually gives you how much time you are spending on different tasks. And you ask yourself 2 questions. What should I spend my time on? And what shouldn't I spend my time on? And the second question is really important. What you shouldn't be spending your time on. Like if you are spending your time on things that are really not important for you, the busy work, that those are things that you should be delegating. You can delegate them to someone else,
sure,
which is much more expensive and hard to do. Or you can delegate them to the machine. You can automate them. So in the divide and conquer step, you are basically finding out how you are spending your time, like what tasks that you want to automate and what tasks you want to spend more time on. There are things that you don't want to automate, like how to strategy for your company if you are a business owner or whatever you are doing. Like the creative tasks are so much more fun. And the things that you are wasting your time is taking time away from those creative things.
Right. It's really helping people to focus on what matters most to move the needle in the business. And typically the busy work is not the highest priority or highest value, highest impact items. I just want to make mention, so those who follow me know that I've mentioned before, I also am a big proponent of the time audit because very often we don't realize that we're spending 80% on things that don't matter. And maybe it's 98%, of things. And I think just getting that initial awareness and asking those questions, like you said, to just get clear of, are the things that we're doing in alignment with the goals that we have? And usually it's that process of getting them back in alignment that needs to happen. So I'm a big proponent of the time audit as well.
We are also spending a lot of time waiting for things. We are also spending a lot of time thinking about what's going to happen. So there are things that you can put them on your to-do list, but there are things that you cannot put on a to-do list. And most of the things that are taking our time are not those things, like simple things that you can put in a to-do list. And that's something I call workflows and business workflows. That's a very common term. And in the conquer step, it's about actually understanding your workflows by creating these diagrams, workflow diagrams, where you can actually map out exactly what's happening. So if you are waiting for something to happen, if you are waiting for someone to sign a document or accept a calendar invitation, those things are all going into your workflow diagrams. So when you have these workflow diagrams, you are more able to really understand your basic documents in your business, which is great, even if you don't want to.
Okay, so that's in the first
them.
stage. First stage, you're documenting your business based on the time. Because of course, you can't delegate something if you don't have it documented to show people how it should work. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So after divide and conquer step, the design and implement step comes.
Design, say that again.
Design and implement.
Okay.
So basically, in the design and implement step, you're actually designing automations. And in the book, I describe how you can find all these no-code product or SaaS products. Because there is just like, you can find any kind of product for any kind of work you need. And people usually don't know how to find them or how to apply them. There are tools that connect different products to each other. So I'm kind of helping people find those tools as well. But design step, and it doesn't have to be other third-party product. Like you can actually use your own existing products to implement automations. Can I give you an example how I automated the email processing in my case?
Yeah.
So I actually looked for other product. I really looked for like a really good email product that I can switch to, because I was receiving like hundreds of emails every day, but I was spending so much time trying to find emails, trying to decide like which email to answer. I was getting lost in a sea of emails.
Right.
So I looked for all these products. I tried like 10 different products, but I decided, okay, none of them is working. So I actually created this home-built kind of solution using Gmail. Our business uses Gmail. Even though we use our own domain, we use Gmail for it in the backend. So basically, I'm only using two things like labels and filters. What I needed to do was I needed to prioritize the emails. So when I open my emails, I want to see like the top priority emails first. I want to process them. And then I want to go to the second priority, third priority. So I created 3 labels: level 1 label, level 2 label, and level 3 label. And on the level 1 label, I created these filters so that only really high priority emails go there. Like if our VP of HR or COO emails directly to me, and you can create those kind of filters on Gmail, that they go to level 1. For example, my publisher is Wiley. Someone from Wiley emails me, that's going to go to my level 1 email. Right. I don't want to make them wait. And level 1 is like this. And level 2 is more about like people I know. When they email to me, I want to see them and be able to reply to them. And level 3 is more like reports, newsletters, threads where I'm like just in the CC or BCC. Right. And everything else goes to the regular inbox. But here's the important part. I use browser bookmarks. So when I click on level 1 on my browser, so when I go to my emails, I never go to my Gmail inbox directly. I will click on the bookmark and I will go to level 1 emails first. I will process them and then I will go to level 2 and level 3. This actually, there's no like, I don't have to worry about missing an important email. If I'm on vacation, if I only have 10 minutes to process my email, I will just go to my level 1 emails and quickly process them. I'm going to make the other emails wait for a later time. If I have meetings, like I have back-to-back meetings and then I have 15 minutes, I can just go to level 1, process it, whatever time I have. And I do the inbox zero approach as well on these levels.
Let me stop you there because I want people to understand some of the psychology behind that, right? So the fact that you don't go into your main email box relieves a lot of stress, because when you go in there, you probably see hundreds, right? And you're like, right away. But if you just go into those that are most priority and they're already there for you because you've already been able to just have them based on rules that they get defined as to where they go. They get filtered into the right place. So for those who are listening, this is a really simple way that you can do with Google, but you can do with any email product. They all have filters. They all have labels that will allow you to do something very simple like that. So one thing I want to add, if you don't mind, is one of the things that I recommend as people are learning to better communicate with one another and to set priorities together, because everything's urgent and that becomes a problem too. How do you label what's level 1, level 2, level 3? So one little tip for those who are listening, and maybe you do this too, Aytekin, maybe this is also something to think about, is when you're communicating with your teams, if you have some rules about putting in the subject fields, some standards so that if it needs a response today, that it might be NRT for needs response today, and that's in the title, that allows you and everyone else to create filters based on what some of those standard rules that you have for titles. Tomorrow could be TM and so forth. And that way you can create a system where people don't get bogged down by all of these emails that are internal as well. Do you do something like that?
Yeah, but I kind of do it differently. I basically tell people, if you need my response quickly, also write me on Discord, which I don't use it very often. Like when people just write me about regular stuff on Discord, I will answer them, but I will tell them, hey, if it's not urgent, please write me an email. But if there is something urgent, I ask them to write me on Discord, because as a company, we use Discord. But also,
awesome. So this
if
is
it's really example, I ask them to text me, especially if I'm on vacation. If I don't want to check the emails that day, I'm actually feeling more comfortable knowing that if something really important comes up, people are going to actually text me, so I don't have to check my email.
Fantastic. I love that. So you're identifying certain platforms for different types of communication. That's also something that I believe in. Like you said, you can go on vacation and not worry about email or only check the high priority, whereas the important things are going to get through because you have a way to communicate. I love that. So those of you who are listening, these are some simple things that you can implement across your organization that's going to relieve stress for everyone. So sit down with your group and come up with some rules and define what platforms are used for what types of communication. Because I don't know about you, Aytekin, but with the whole hybrid work environment, what happened under COVID is we added more communication platforms, but no rules or structure around how they should be used. And so therefore, I think it's created even more stress for people, because now not only do I have to be present to one platform, but I have to be present to multiple platforms. And it's just energy and time sucking.
Exactly. It's out of control, right? So I prefer to have kind of async communication as opposed to like sync communication, like chats, phone. It's like, let's schedule a meeting, let's send an email instead of using chats or texting. Those things should be only left for really urgent stuff, so that we can actually make our own schedules and work on our own time. Because deep work, creative work, they require you to be able to put the time in, like time box your time. Like in the mornings, I go to gym, I take shower, and then I have my coffee, and then I sit in front of the computer. I don't want to do busy work. I really want to do some creative work, write something, strategize about business, think about the big picture. That's really much more fun. And it's actually also not possible when I'm tired, when I'm exhausted. And those times are really should be left for doing processing emails, things like that.
Absolutely. I love it. And that goes to the point of knowing when your best energy is, so that you're doing the things that are appropriate during the day that are in match with the type of energy that you have.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
so I want to go through the steps.
Automation flywheel. It's about systems, how to refine and iterate your systems. There's a book, System Thinking, by Daniela Meadows, and that's one of my favorite books. And it's talking about how systems really shape the world and how we can use system thinking to make a change, make a dent in the world, and how to fix things in the world. And this is really just adding some automations here and there is not enough. You need to start building systems because you want to create continuous improvement. You want to create a machine that you can continuously improve. You can iterate and review your systems. That's like the third step.
So that's the third step is system thinking?
The third step is review and iterate.
Okay.
So you are basically creating these systems from these
Gotcha.
automations, and you're continuously improving. So it's a process of continuous improvement because you cannot just automate everything at once. Like you want to be able to define your work, understand your work, add some automations, create some systems, but you want to keep doing that continuously. And this is system thinking can actually help you do that as well.
Awesome. And that was the name of the book you said was called System Thinking for people who are interested?
Yeah, the Daniela Meadows.
Okay, great. So is there only 3 steps to the flywheel? So there's the divide and conquer, design and implement, and review and iterate.
Exactly. Yes.
All right, fantastic. So what did I not ask you yet that you feel is important for our listeners?
I would say how to start this journey. And I kind of talked about that a little bit, but it's really important to reiterate. You want to ask the question, what should I spend my time on? What shouldn't I spend my time on? And the second question is really important. Like, how are you spending your time? How are you wasting your time with stuff that are not important? And once you kind of face that, it's harder to not to change it because it's like once you do that time audit, once you see that you're spending so much time on these things, it's just the rest comes much more easily because you understand how your time is being wasted. So I will start with that. And I give lots of examples in the book, how to start and how to continue. It's a process. It's something you gradually start and improve your work.
Awesome. So how would you define productivity and why?
Productivity is really about prioritization. If you are spending your time on things that are not important, I don't think you are being productive. Like the Eisenhower matrix, important versus urgency. You want to be spending most of your time on really important stuff. You don't want to get stuck in the urgent, unimportant things or unimportant, non-urgent things. You don't want to spend your time with unimportant things. You want to spend most of your time with important things. It's kind of easier. It's really easy to spend your time with urgent stuff because it just comes up. It's like snacking. It's easy to spend so much time. But productivity is about finding time for the important things, like using time boxing and finding time that you have the most energy. And you also talk about that in your book, like energy is the most important part. You need to put your energies into important stuff and find the time that best suits you to work on those important things. And that can make a huge difference. It made a big difference for me, and it will make a big difference for our audience as well.
Absolutely. And maybe you can speak to, so it made a difference to help you to grow your business, right? Faster to scale. How did it help you in terms of the level of stress that you were feeling?
So I have 3 kids and I just had a daughter like 3 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
And I have like an 8-year-old and 6-year-old.
Okay.
So it can be stressful to have a company and have a family and just like so many things going on. And it's really stress. It's really about being able to manage your time, controlling your time. If you are not controlling your time, you're constantly being stressed, anxious because you are behind things. So automation is kind of delegating to machine, delegating to other people, or just deciding, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Just saying yes to everything is not a good idea. And I guess it's about prioritization at the end. Everything is about prioritization. And family is always first for me. So I prioritize family. But I also want work on the important things in my business and try to delegate things to automation or to build a great team so that I don't have to worry about things.
So what I hear you saying is that by this approach, this automation flywheel for you, that it enabled you to have balance to prioritize both business priorities and family priorities at the same time without having that elevated stress.
Exactly.
Is that right?
And it helped me grow my business and also grow my family.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here. Now, we didn't get a chance to talk about JotForms. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about that platform in the context of automation and what it can do for people, and then maybe give us some contact information about yourself.
Sure. So JotForm is an online form builder. It's basically a way for you to automate your business because when you are actually dealing with other people, it's just so much harder to email people, like try to communicate with them for every little detail is really hard. But if you use online forms, it's just much more easier. Just People fill out the form and then you can ask the questions that you want. And it's free. So you can just go to jotform.com and create a free form. And we also help out with the other automation steps like document generation, email creation. It integrates with hundreds of other products. So I applied these automation principles in our product as well. So it's not just personally or for the company, but also for the product. The book is coming out on May 16th, Automate Your Busywork. And it's available for pre-order on Amazon. So I hope that people find it useful and it helped me. And I hope that it's going to help a lot of people.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your automation flywheel and various different tips and tricks on, I think, email itself. Just getting that will help people to get out of some of the craziness that they might feel that they're in. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all for being here. Go and just implement one thing that we talked about with the email and make so much difference for you. And maybe you're already doing that with your email, but how can you step back and utilize this sort of system thinking? Maybe it's time to do a time audit, as we discussed, and take that first step in that automation flywheel. Or maybe it's getting your processes really documented, all your workflows, so that you see what's really going on. Because until you document it, you really can't optimize it. And there's so many great steps in here that you can get started with something that's going to help you to, what's the show called? Take Back Time. So my name is Penny Zenker, and this is Take Back Time. We'll see you in the next episode. Hey, thank you for spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If you're feeling a little off, distracted, overwhelmed, stuck, or just out of sync, remember that's your signal to reset. And that's all it takes, just recognizing one reset moment at a time. So stay tuned for more tips, tools, tricks, stories, strategies, all here on Time to Reset. We'll see you in the next episode.